It's called mommy shaming. If you haven't heard of this, I think it's kind of a newer term, right, babe?
Yeah, it wasn't the first time that it happened to me, but I think in Bora Bora it kind of elevated a little bit, and I sort of had enough. And I said, this is something we need to talk about on our show, because I not only have experienced it, but so many of my fellow influencer mom friends and celebrity friends. I feel like social media is, I've said this before, it could be a blessing and a curse. And when I was in Bora Bora, I experienced the curse of social media. I'll just say that. I don't want to get into exactly what these comments were, but I'll just say in a nutshell of paraphrasing what these comments said, it was multiple people getting on my page, seeing these photos of me in Bora Bora, obviously a beautiful island, but we were also there working, which in our world, sometimes people don't understand. Like influencers, we don't just get to travel to these beautiful places and literally just lay on a beach all day. This is work, right? Well, a lot of these comments were saying things like, how can you just leave your child to go on vacation and to lay out and party? Or another comment said, I'm such an amazing mom. I'm with my kids every single day. How could you leave them and abandon your daughter? And I don't ever let comments get to me on social media, really. And if they do, I kind of laugh it off and it's whatever. But since becoming a mom, when somebody attacks my integrity or my character as a mother, that's where it really kind of where they're drawing the line. They're going, what is it saying? Below the belt, baby. Correct me, honey.
That's right.
And it just really, it kind of hit me where it hurts, because I had never been away from Teeny this long for a week, and it was already hard being there. And every mom out there knows the pain of when you have to leave your child, right? The pain of like, I'm going to my 9-to-5 job. Like, you still have to get up in the morning and leave your child. Like, that's also a heartache that a mother feels when she has to go leave for work. And it's really no different in my situation. Yeah, I'm going to this beautiful island, but it was really hurtful to read some of these comments, because people really don't understand that, like, influencers, we're people too. We're human, and we're working, and we're hustling. And everything that I'm doing is for Teeny. And it just was really hard, and it was a big pill to swallow when I was in Bora Bora. And it was something that I told Stevie about, and I said, I feel like we need to talk about this, because it's not right. It really isn't. We got to stop that.
There's two things here. Yes, we get to travel for work, and it's amazing. We had a great time in Bora Bora, you guys. It was a very special trip, but that actually doesn't happen often in that way. And number two, it's not all fun and games when we go on these trips. I mean, it's working most of the time. This trip, thankfully, we had a lot of time to relax, but most of the time, you guys, yes, we're in Paris, but you're seeing us capture good content for you guys. But you're not seeing all the things that go on behind the scenes, all the meetings that we have to take, all the things we have to run to. But we are so thankful that we get to do these trips, even when we have to work. We feel very privileged. And I think one thing that people have to understand is that in our business, we work from home. Babe, we don't work a 9-to-5. A lot of women who work a 9-to-5 have to say goodbye to their baby in the morning and don't get to see them until they come home at 5, maybe 6 o'clock, and only get to spend a few hours with them a day.
Yeah.
We are lucky and blessed enough that we work at home. And I have told you, we get to see our daughter on average more than most parents.
And, I'd like to step in here, too, first. As a third party,
yes.
Just a third-party observer here. You watch Tom Brady play football on Sundays, but you don't see his kids on his Instagram very much. You don't, so why aren't you asking him of why he's, it's just really out of play.
And and those football players and basketball players and
any celebrity in all light. Do you ever see The Rock's kids?
Right.
No, you don't, because you know what? He's got a life and he's traveling too. But you're not asking The Rock, why are you in Australia?
Well, this is a good point,
your kids right now?
But specifically for moms, this is a good point, because there's mothers out there who play professional basketball. They're a producer, but their life isn't on display, and also, babe, they're not making themselves vulnerable for people to go and comment, because they see a lot of our life, but they only see a certain part of their lives. And what frustrates me is that people attack you, and you've made yourself open and vulnerable to them.
So it's like you're an open target.
Yeah, and for whatever reason, they're attacking you. And that really upsets me, because they don't know you. They're assuming a lot of things, and they don't see the whole picture. And it's almost like if you stepped into their life and assumed all these things about them and said, well, you're not a good mom because of this. You know what? That's bogus, because we all have a different path that we're walking on. But I can tell you guys 100%, Suzanne and I love our daughter to death, and we give effort. And we think about not just loving her and spending time with her. We think about the things that we do with her. Suzanne is you're so thoughtful, babe, with what you do with Teenie. You wake her up in the morning and you read her a book, you know. You're always talking about, you know, expanding her mind, you know, and then feeding her good food. I mean, you're so intentional. And I just want to say that because you need to be given that recognition.
Honestly, and it you know, I'm just kind of using my experience as an example, but it makes me sad for every mom out there, because even if you're not an influencer, you know, there was a study that was done at the University of Michigan, and they basically found that like over 60% of the women that they surveyed, it was like over 450 women, over 60% said that they have been mommy shamed in one or more areas of their life, whether it's, you know, being a new parent and other people telling you how to parent, to social media being a place where people feel like they all want to have a comment or an opinion and they want to judge. And, you know, being a new parent, we're figuring this thing out. And I am the first one to tell you that I do not have it all figured out. I'm not perfect. And neither are you. You know, nobody is perfect. And I just wanted to talk about this so that the next time you see a mother, to understand that she's not perfect and that it's really hard being a mom. And if there's anything that you can say to that mom, it's to just encourage her and to just say, you know what, you're a great mom. And to speak words of light and positivity over that mother, because you don't even want to know how many poopy diapers she changed today. You know what I mean? And I just think it's important. Like, since I became a mom, when I see another mother, it's easy to compare, you know, but I have just made it a priority, and I've been more intentional about just going above and beyond to smile at that mom or to compliment that mom at the airport, to help someone open the door, because we've got to stick together. And what makes me sad is all of these comments that I got when I actually clicked on the profiles of these women, they were also moms. And I said, oh my gosh, how can another mom who should understand the pain of leaving her child and that this is a tough thing, she's the one attacking. And that's something that we've got to stop right now. And so I thought we would talk about this on the show and just try to resolve it by just being more of a light and being positive. And it goes back to the whole saying, if you don't got anything nice to say, don't say it at all.
And that's really just the thing. We don't have to go out buttering up every single person we see and fluffing people's feathers or whatever. You know, it's just a simple fact of knowing your place in somebody's life. So if you're a good friend that somebody says, and you're close to them and you know them, you know their life, you know the things that they go through, and you saw something that was happening as a parent, it's really hard to even tell a friend, like, hey, you're being a bad friend. But it would be even harder to tell a friend who's a parent, hey, you know, I mean, our parents don't even want to tell us. You know, they're wary of that because people got to figure things out. But
everyone's different.
But you can't just look at someone's life from the outside and be like, hey, you're a terrible mom. It's like, whoa. A good friend of mine will have a hard time saying that. And then you've got people commenting this online because they get to hide behind, you know, social media and their keyboard and all of that. But even if, you know, my brother was doing something as a dad and I didn't agree with it, I would think a few times before approaching him about that, because number one, he's a great guy and I trust him as a dad, and obviously he's going to make his mistakes, but it's really not your place.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're literally in his shoes, which you never will be, you've got no place to judge somebody. And it really is the tone. And obviously, if you are coming at a loving place and you're genuinely concerned, there's a way to communicate that.
Of course, if there was something that was a big enough deal, yes.
But I find so many situations where everybody feels like they're an expert at your life, whether it is parenting or, you know, figuring out your career path, whatever that is. Everybody's an expert nowadays, especially when you give them an Instagram handle. And it's just like, chill out, homie, because we've got to figure out this thing ourselves. And there's one thing to encourage someone, but it's another thing to put someone down. And that's not okay.
You know what I find interesting is that this mommy shaming is a term now. It's like a thing that's used, mommy shaming. I've never heard daddy shaming.
Does that even exist?
Well, no, but I'm saying, right? Exactly.
It probably does.
The fact that you had to ask doesn't mean that's a thing.
You just don't hear about it.
Well,
Hardly.
number one, because of more women shifting into the workplace, there are
That's
women
true.
who stay at home that are full-time moms, and that's a full-time job. You're a full-time mom. And there's women who go into the workplace and they have to leave their kid for a certain amount of time. And I find it interesting that there's so much women empowerment out there, and there's so many women going into the workforce, but yet we have this conversation and this term mommy shaming because it's an actual problem.
It's really unfortunate.
But there's not a lot of daddy shaming out there.
That's such a great point. And I'm just going to add something briefly by saying, this whole thing about, women empowering women, I'm all about it. And if you're going to be about it, then you need to practice what you preach. And I think a lot of the times people are all about the women empowerment, and you see it. You see other women attacking women. All of these shaming comments came from other moms. And I was just so sad to see that. And, women, a lot of women, some women out there, they may support you until you hit them with something that is like hitting their insecurity button. And when they see you maybe on a beach, maybe they start to think, well, I've always wanted to have more vacation, but I'm here stuck with 5 kids. And they will never say that, but they're going to project that insecurity through their comments and what they say. So all that to say, I just had to get this off my chest because I've been getting a lot of DMs. People obviously are being so supportive. A lot of you guys came to my rescue. I really don't need all of that. I appreciate the support, but I just want to address the mommy shaming because my heart goes out to other new moms out there who are figuring this out, but who are also passionate, who have dreams. And so I just encourage all those moms to keep going and to not let other women or whoever get you down.
Well, no matter what it is, you guys, let's just be a little bit kinder to each other. Let's be a little bit slower to speak something negative, something angry, you guys. Be about the build-up and not about the breakdown. All right, you guys, we've got your calls coming up right now. We are so excited about this because they don't even know that they're getting called by Stevie and Susan.
You better behave. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, I'm not.
Alexa isn't the only one with breaking news. Make sure to hang around at the end of this podcast for the latest breaking headlines on the AP News Minute.
Being Teeny's mommy is absolutely probably the most beautiful thing in my life. Just in the past year that I've been able to be Teeny's mommy, I've just witnessed the beauty of parenting. Before I had her, I didn't know what this world was going to look like. Whether, I was going to be able to make it through those sleepless nights, how many pounds of concealer I had to wear under my eyes to get through the day. But aside from all of that, you just figure it out along the way.